Our guest today on Catching Up with the Blue Claws is Clint Wulfekotte. He's a senior vice president of sponsorship at the moment, but he was back with the Blue Claws for his first stint 20 years ago in the fall of 2000, leading into what was opening night and opening season in 2001. Clint, welcome. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks, Greg. Great to be here with you today. I appreciate the time.
So you started, give or take, 20 years ago, fall of 2000. Does it seem like it's been 2 decades already?
I feel like it's been 2 decades, but I think mentally, time has certainly flown by. But lot of great memories from 20 years ago. I can't believe it's been 20 years. So yeah, time certainly has flown by.
So what were you doing at the time when you found out that there was going to be a team in Lakewood? And then, give us a little bit of your background, because I know this is kind of a home game for you.
Yeah. So, being born and raised in Lakewood, New Jersey, having graduated from Lakewood High School, it was well rumored that a minor league baseball team was going to be coming to Lakewood. And, at the time I was actually living in Atlanta, Georgia. I'd moved down there following graduating University of Delaware to pursue my master's degree in sports business administration and also, begin some internships and some jobs in the great city of Atlanta. And I was actually working with the Braves at the time when the news became official that the Blue Claws were going to, come to life here in Lakewood. It was super exciting. And as much as I enjoyed, being with the Atlanta Braves, the opportunity to come back to my hometown and build a minor league baseball team, watch the stadium come to life, was really something special, something I definitely cherished and enjoyed being a part of.
Have you been to minor league baseball games before?
I had never been to a minor league baseball game prior to my first with the Blue Claws. It had always been, Major League Baseball, NFL, but my first minor league event was with the Blue Claws, working.
In April of 2001. So you applied, obviously you got a job. What was your job at the time?
Yeah, so when they hired Jeff Brown as the general manager, I actually wrote him a note, handwritten note. I was actually flying on an airplane to come back home when I was writing the note, asking him if he would have some time and speak with me about an opportunity with the Blue Claws. Several months had passed from the time that I had written the note. We had several conversations in between, including some interviews, when finally, had the opportunity to join the team as the marketing manager back then in 2000.
So what did that role entail? What were you responsible for?
Everything. Minor league baseball. Yeah. It starts with pulling the tarp. That's the introduction to minor leagues, baseball. But, really it was about building the business. We had a whiteboard to draw up, marketing plans, how we were going to get into the communities, being an active member in the community, joining Chamber of Commerce. But I think, priority number one, was working and introducing who the Blue Claws were to the business community. And develop partnerships with several great local and regional businesses to be a part of First Energy Park, GPU Park back then, as an introduction to the Blue Claws baseball and kind of developing those relationships through those organizational needs through advertising at the ballpark and premium hospitality and growing the brand, really.
The first office at Airport Road, what do you remember?
I remember it being really small. I remember every day you'd walk in and there'd be a new employee of the Blue Claws. I think I was employee number 3 or 4. It's often a topic of conversation, who was 3 and who was 4, but just watching, the full-time staff grow, watching the office, all the plans that we had talked about, looking at blueprints in the stadium, watching that come to life, the development around Buster and where that started to where he's now come to life and a vital member of the community that Buster is, so beloved. So really just, walking into what was an empty office, a couple of things that I absolutely will never forget. Day one, when ticket sales went online, we had a line around the corner. We were out there with hot chocolate and hot dogs, and we, made it an event. But, one by one, we had the entire, blueprint of the seating map on the wall. Jeremy Fishman and Hal Hansen, were sitting there putting pins in people's seats as they were, purchasing their season tickets. And it was just an exciting time to be with the club and watch the excitement in the community and the affinity that, the fans had it before there was even a team.
I feel like I would have, I know you had a lot on your plate, made a daily visit to the construction site, which is now the stadium, to see kind of where they were and how everything was going. How often did you guys swing by?
I drove by it every day. It was hard not to. We would probably visit it once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks with, hard hat tour. I would go there on the weekends when nobody was there and just take pictures from, to just kind of track the development and, would walk around when construction was not going on. So it was a nice quiet time to just watch the progress of the construction. And it's great to look back at some of those photos and see where we are today, 20 years later. It really is, again, something that was just spectacular to be a part of.
And for you, having grown up here probably meant a little more than, somebody else that maybe didn't grow up right here in Lakewood, because, right, what was this area when you were growing up? Just like a little forest, right?
Bike trails. I'd ride my bike, through a little dirt bike, through the trails that were where the stadium now sits. I grew up right around the corner from where the ballpark is, so it was not too difficult to ride my bike there. And, not just, where the stadium sits, but the industrial park has just come so far, so fast. And to watch the, not only area in and around Lakewood, but, Bricktown and Jackson and Toms River and, the development around the ballpark has just, been exciting to watch that grow. And having, worked in New York in between the Blue Claws then and where the Blue Claws are being able to come back now, having that break in between and not the chance to really get down and be in and around where that was, to see it really is amazing, just what's been done to the area.
When did you guys move in to the offices in the ballpark?
The exact date and time, G,
Well,
I don't
like
have
a
for
month.
you.
No, like a month, 2 weeks.
It was. I don't recall exactly when we moved into the stadium and when the season actually started. Once we pulled the trigger on getting into the stadium, it was really just a blur leading up to opening day. But definitely, I remember the excitement of leaving Airport Road and getting into our new office space.
What was the most challenging part of planning everything out, for the start of what was the first season, from your standpoint?
I think when you're trying to build a franchise from the ground up, you have all the blueprints, you have all the specs, but you can't see it, you can't feel it, and you're in the community every day, introducing businesses, and you're selling a dream. You're selling the excitement of family fun, affordable entertainment. And that's our sales material had little to no pictures, so you couldn't visualize any of it, and people like me at the time had very little understanding of what minor league baseball was back then, and how it's grown, and such a great business and such a great part of the community. So um, you know having to sell the excitement of what was to come, and to get people to grasp exactly who and what we were going to be, was a challenge, but it was a great one.
What do you remember most about the first opening day?
Lots of it. I think I don't think we got very far into the first pitch, but it was exciting, and it was disheartening with the weather here in New Jersey in April, trying to get those games in, and especially opening day with all the excitement. To have that rain come through was might as well be 2020 with the way that night went down.
Well, the second night you got a no hitter in the second game of the. I think you played 4.5 innings, and then had to finish it the next night, and then played a regular game. And the regular game was a no hitter, so at least that was cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you remembered that.
Hey, I was in high school, so
you know. Thanks for that. When you're running around and it's night one, or it's night two, or it's opening day, of any season, the work that leads up to it, and then the night thereof, there you are, and it really is just such an absolute blur, because you're thinking about everything else except for what's going on down on the field, and you're running around, you're going to say hi to fans and business partners, and it's a blur, but it's a fun blur.
You've gone through a lot of these in here and in other sports and situations, and so have I. Every year you always say to yourself, all right, if we can do task 1, 2, and 3 in January, February, do it a little earlier, get it out of the way, and next time I'm going to make the lead up the week before, the 2 weeks before, very smooth. I know how to do it now. And you say it every year, and then every year it's just a total mess. It's just chaos the 2 weeks before, the week before, the night before. So I can only imagine what it was like in your case, and the team's case, because there was, you were ready to do things, or there were things that had to be done that had never been done before, with the stadium having, opening for the first time.
Yeah, I think I've been really fortunate in my career to work with great people, and not just great people in the organization, but people outside the organization who are supporting you and are just as much of a part as the team, whether it's in baseball or soccer, or collegiate athletics. The people just care and have such a great passion for what we do, that oftentimes it's just everybody comes together, and you do it. You're always putting out fires. You're not just opening the gates, saying hello to all your fans, playing a game, and then leaving that night. There's so much work and passion and love that goes into our jobs and our careers, that you just end up, you don't think about it. You just do what needs to get done to make sure that everybody has the best experience possible. And that's all I really have known, and have been fortunate enough to work with great teams who have known the same exact thing. You just do it.
Do you have a favorite game, memory, whatever, from that first year?
No, because I don't watch the games.
Yeah.
Everything is revolves around the game, as far as the business and what we're focused on, during the games. So there's been a lot of great moments in a career, but specific to that first season and a game moment, I can't necessarily point to one that's more special than any other because again, it was just not really focused, and a lot of attention is on the game itself while you're doing your job.
Was there, let me phrase it differently, I guess, was there a time when you could kind of like relax and say, hey, wow, we pulled off? Was it like September when the season was over? Was it like after the first homestand? Was there a time where you can kind of like take a step back and breathe a little bit and say, hey, wow, this is pretty cool?
Definitely the off season, in year one, because the stadium was continuing to be under construction. We were continuing to work with our partners. I wouldn't say that I was actually comfortable from a business perspective until we were, maybe half to 75%, through that first season. But when the season is over and you truly have that opportunity to take a deep breath and think back to everything that we were able to accomplish, really something to be proud about. But that first season, just it was never ending of moments and things to do, until we really all were in a comfortable place and say, all right, we arrived.
The second year, the last game of the second year, there were 13,003 people here. This was in the pre-social distancing era. Did do you remember that? I mean, I've been here for two or three 10,000s and a few more, 9,500 in that range. I can't figure out where you put the other 3,000 people though.
They were all over the place as the numbers for that game continued to rise. We were asking ourselves the same thing. Where are we going to put all these people? There were people sitting up on the hill back, behind the upper tier billboards. There were people, standing underneath the scoreboard watching the game. They were anywhere they could find a place, whether they could see the game or not. I don't even know if it was visible from all areas, but that was awesome to have, that crowd in that ballpark, for that game was definitely something that we were all, pretty proud of ourselves to pull that off.
Jeff was our guest on this a few months ago, and he said that the day before, or 2 days before, he was talking to the fire marshal, who was a season ticket holder, and he said, hey, I think on whatever the last game, Tuesday night, Monday night, whatever, like, I think we're going to have a real lot of people here, like more than we've ever had. And the fire marshal said, great. So he said, I took that as an acceptance that we're good to go. They just let him work. But yeah, that one, I wish I was there for that one. I have no idea where you guys put everybody. Were you here when Bill Butler, the groundskeeper, was ejected?
I was, but again, I don't.
You don't remember?
I don't remember
were you
that
on,
happening. I
you were
don't
not
know
on the tarp?
Probably,
Yeah.
probably soaking wet. That's Bill. It's all you can say. That's our love of Bill.
That might be a favorite story. That one is an all timer. You talked about your job and one of your roles was to kind of get out in the community and help get the Blue Claws out in the community. Did it, I don't want to say surprise you, but like, were you kind of taken aback by how successful those efforts were? That, obviously the community really came together behind the Blue Claws, both the family of four that brings their two kids out, but also the business community, and obviously really from day one.
Yeah, I think, as we had more media go out, as we had more moments in time, like, the first pieces of merchandise or tickets going on sale, or, doing stadium tours before we opened the stadium, it was, you can see the swell of momentum as the days and the weeks and the months had gone by. You could, see people when you went out to a luncheon or a chamber meeting, or, whatever it was, and you told them that you worked for the Blue Claws, and when you first started, nobody knew who the Blue Claws were. So as the name and the brand recognition, continued to develop and pick up, you definitely understood that it was something that was going to be pretty special in the community.
So you went out and did you worked for some colleges, soccer, and then you came back here in I guess the spring of 19, right before everything went bad. That's when Clint came, if you're wondering.
February 2020. I was in the office for,
Yeah, 20,
for
sorry.
5 weeks before we went remote, and was so excited, for the start of the season and being back home and being back with the Blue Claws. 2020 has been rough on everybody, and I know we're all looking forward to getting back to some baseball activity soon.
Yeah, for sure. What brought you back?
The ownership group, Joe, my love for the team. I had some really, really outstanding conversations with the ownership group, and love their vision, love their investment in the community. Their vision for what they want to do with the Jersey Shore Blue Claws. Everything, as I was speaking with Joe, really resonated, and I was not necessarily expecting that, but I knew I was coming back to a place where I was joining a team that loved and cared about the people that they work with, the communities that they work in, and the Blue Claws. And, giving it some thought, it was a really great decision. I'm glad to be back.
And when we get some people back out here for a game, everybody's going to be wearing new shirts and new hats. The new era, the new Jersey Shore Blue Claws were born a little over a month ago on October 21st. What does that mean kind of for you, and what does that mean for the team? You think, as we said at the time, the Blue Claws wanted to really embrace the entire community, the Jersey Shore community that has supported the team from day one.
Yeah, I think it's very representative of who we are. Being invested in, the communities that up and down the Jersey Shore. The new brand look, I love it. I think it captures who we've been, and more importantly who we are, and who we want to be moving forward. So I was really, really excited to be a part of the rebrand and the launch, and just the feedback has been phenomenal, and so excited to get out there and see everybody. I've been wearing the merchandise around town, and people recognize it, which is great to see that our communities are already kind of loving our new brand, our new look.
I want to go, before we let you go, and thank you for a few minutes. I want to go back to the beginning for one more.
Okay.
What was there something at the beginning that you guys kind of forgot? Was there like an moment that I'll tell you what Jeff said when we talked to Jeff,
Okay.
and he said there were two. He said,
okay.
One was not the first night per se, but they realized when they moved in, they forgot to leave a spot for the trash compactor.
Yeah.
So they had to
Yeah.
bring one in and pave a little cart path. And then the other one was they forgot to put, and they did this before opening day, so it wasn't a game problem, but they remembered it in the construction, like little pass-through windows in the concession stands. So they would make the food in the back, but then to bring it out, you have to walk all the way down to one end and then all the way back to the other end to those registers. So they cut the window in the stand to pass the food through. Was there anything like that on your end that you remember? Kind of like an moment?
No, I wouldn't say it was an moment, but for opening night, being in charge of production at the time, we weren't afforded the time to really put in great music, put in great graphics on the scoreboard, and all the things that you know and love as a part of minor league baseball. It was just it was almost antiquated because we didn't have time to build the show, which took, you're always building the show. 20 years later, you're still building the show, but it was some pretty basic stuff up on that scoreboard for as technologically advanced that scoreboard was for its time. We certainly weren't using its full capabilities on game number 1.
That board had a good run. Had a 14-year, 14-year run. It had a good run. And we like the new one too. Yeah.
I'm much more pleased with the new one. I spent a lot of waking hours up in that old scoreboard, shocking myself, trying to put all the little pieces and connect the wires where they were supposed to be every time it went down. So I'm glad I don't have to spend my days up in the scoreboard shocking myself any longer.
Don't feel bad. My first game, I forgot to bring the manager of the lineup. Like 20 minutes before the game, the clubhouse manager races up to the press box like, "Hey, what's the other roadie who was the manager at the time?" He's like, he doesn't have the lineup. He's kind of mad. And oh crap! I don't know. I forgot I was supposed to do it.
Trying to get thrown out of the game.
I guess so. Yeah. Well, they gave up 9 runs in the first inning, so maybe it would have been better if he didn't have it. Clint Wulfekotte, Senior Vice President of Sponsorships for the Blue Claws. Welcome back to the Blue Claws. Thank you so much for this 30-minute, look back, and have a happy, safe, and healthy Thanksgiving.
Best wishes for everybody for a happy, healthy Thanksgiving, and we look forward to seeing you all in 2021. Thanks, G. Appreciate it.